sir.
Yes, please come, Yogesh.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
So, Yogesh, let's have your brief introduction to the
Sure,
panel.
So my name is Yogesh Kumar Meena. I was born and brought up in the vibrant city of Mumbai. My hobbies include playing football and going for strength training in the gym. Thereafter, I graduated from IIT Bombay while doing a majors in computer science and engineering. After my graduation, I embarked on my professional journey with Amazon, where I worked for close to 3.5 years. For the last 2 years, I have been dedicatedly preparing for the civil services examination.
So, Yogesh, any connection with Rajasthan?
Sir, my native place is in Rajasthan. My parents visited a lot, but
You don't like Rajasthan?
No, sir, that's not how I would say. I definitely like visiting places in Rajasthan, but I have not spent a considerable time.
Okay, so tell me, Maharashtra is one of the leading destinations for investments in the country. But Rajasthan hasn't been able to create that kind of image. Why?
Sir, I would say there are multiple factors behind that. First of all, Maharashtra being a coastal state, naturally it gives advantages for in the logistics sector. So that's why it has been an advantage for Maharashtra, and Rajasthan has lagged in that sense. But right now they are investing a lot in their infrastructure, so they are trying to close that gap. Apart from that, sir, definitely there are factors such as skill development and education. Rajasthan perhaps has not been able to keep up with advanced states that we see in Maharashtra, Karnataka and Gujarat. So these are perhaps some of the issues. Apart from that, sir, I don't see any major bottleneck as such. With correct investment and right policies, Rajasthan should be able to make up.
So I saw from your DAF, your address is Navi Mumbai.
Yes, sir.
So Yogesh, Navi Mumbai lately is in focus.
Yes, sir.
And it is poised for a very big leap in its development. Why?
Right. So there are a lot of major infrastructure projects that are coming right in Navi Mumbai. First of all, recently in 12th of January, there was the longest sea bridge in India was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister, the Mumbai Trans Harbour Link. Apart from that, sir, there is an airport that's being built right in Navi Mumbai. It's being built by Adani developers. It's supposed to inaugurate, it's supposed to get operationalized towards the end of this year. That might be a little ambitious, but because of these infrastructure projects, it's anticipated that it will bring a lot more investment in the ancillary areas. There's the MMRDA and the development agencies are also envisioning a third Mumbai. It's called a third Mumbai, which will be an area influenced by the within the airport region. So these are some of the reasons why.
Yogesh, you are a computer science engineer from IIT Bombay.
Yes, sir.
So you have traveled all over. You're working in Amazon.
Sir, I was working in Amazon, but I left my job in 2020.
So with all these colorful feathers in your cap, why are you trying to get into the civil service?
Right. So in the initial part of my professional journey, most of my decisions were actually heavily influenced by my idea to get towards financial security and financial independence. Once I reached that stage, sir, I believed my value system aligned very close to the ideas of public service. So that's why that was one of the primary reasons why civil services attracted me as a career option. Apart from that, sir, I don't judge a career just based on monetary terms. I believe the powers, the decision-making influence, the policy-making influence that I can bring to the government and bring welfare to millions of people, that's a very big opportunity for me. Lastly, sir, I also see this as a very long-term investment in my career. The networking opportunities and the diverse sectors that I'll be getting to work in, I believe it will open a lot more opportunities towards the tail end of my career.
Okay, my last question, Yogesh. Chinese premier, the Prime Minister in Davos has said that we should draw a red line, and red line should not be crossed as far as use of artificial intelligence is concerned. What do you think, could that be India's policy also?
Sir, I believe there are fundamental differences in how the Chinese system looks at regulation and how we look at regulation. China majorly being a state dominated, there's a lot of state control in the Chinese administration and governance. I believe they want to keep a tight hold
No,
on
what
how-
should be India's stand? I am interested in India,
Sure, sir.
not to take out the reasons. You can give reasons later on.
Sure, sir. Sir, I think based on what recently happened in the Delhi Declaration during the Global Partnership AI Summit, sir, I believe India is trying to balance both. It's going for some regulation. Definitely, we need some regulation as well. It's allowing space for more innovation as well. So we are trying to balance both ways. We are trying to protect the interests, the rights of the consumers, the people, the citizens, as well as allowing space.
Suppose now Sachin has also been deepfaked.
Yes, sir.
Elections are around. So maybe any candidate can be deepfaked.
Right, sir. So that is
So you think it will be not crossing the red line?
sir, definitely deepfakes are posing a very big
There
problem.
can be other things also.
Right, sir. Sir, for this, I believe we need good regulation to, because, sir, artificial intelligence is a dual use good. We need to use it for the welfare of the people and not against them. So, I believe we need a legal framework as well as allow self-regulation and international collaboration to direct AI towards the right direction.
Thank you, Yogesh. I pass on to a member.
Well, Yogesh, you come from the, I think, most advanced, most prosperous part of Maharashtra,
Right, sir.
Mumbai,
Yes.
right? New Navi Mumbai. Suppose you are posted as DM in the worst district of Maharashtra.
Yes.
I think Yavatmal, in terms of farmer suicide,
Sure,
that must be the worst district. And you have a tenure of 3 years. Normally, DMs have a tenure of 3 years. What steps would you take to make a visible impact, particularly with reference to farmer suicide? What 2-3 quick steps you will take
Right.
to bring down this incidence?
Sir, because I need to take a quick decision, my actions would be to bring very short-term gains. Sir, I would definitely, there's a very big issues with respect to increasing use in pesticides and fertilizers. That has recently, it was Yavatmal district specifically was in news because that was causing a lot of issues to the farmers as it was causing a lot of diseases. Sir, I would try to promote organic farming and basically go for more crop diversification where perhaps the crops which don't require as much water, we can promote that.
That is one.
Yes, sir.
That is one. What
That
else?
would be one. Apart from that, sir, definitely bringing people out of agriculture would also be another thing that I would try to take. Sir, there are a lot of employment heavy. I would try to generate more employment. So I would try to see how low skilled industries could be brought to that place. So that is something how I'll try to bring investment to that place so that people can actually migrate to more productive industrial sectors. That would be other. Apart from that, sir, trying to build infrastructure so that the farmers there could get more market access and actually get better facilities so that they get better price and income opportunities. That would perhaps be the short-term action that I'd be taking.
Yogesh, what is this third Mumbai?
Sir,
Mumbai?
Third Mumbai is the area that will be influenced by the upcoming airports. So it will be bringing a lot of investment in terms of manufacturing. There might be more manufacturing industries that might be set up. Even people would be migrating towards the area which would be influenced by Navi Mumbai airport, as well as this new trans-harbour link that has been built. So, sir, this third Mumbai has been envisioned on the in the Mumbai-Pune corridor. I mean, Mumbai, it's expanding towards the Pune corridor. So, that is the area. So, they are trying to seek land development for that place.
And Yogesh, tell me how we can make use of artificial intelligence in making our agriculture more environment friendly.
Sure, sir. So, there are a lot of things that we could do. First of all, I would suggest precision agriculture. So, that would usage of drones and IoT could definitely help us in efficient use of water as well as pesticides and all those things. So that would be perhaps the most significant one. Apart from that, sir, artificial intelligence can also be used to understand how the dynamics of changing the soil properties and as well as the weather that has been happening. So artificial intelligence could also be used for that.
Yogesh, what do you understand by this mini-lateralism? Is it changing the currently you see any change in world order?
Right, sir. Sir, the way that I understand minilateralism is there has been rising increase on regional agreements and bilateral agreements, and WTO and these multilateral organizations have mostly been sidelined because of some legacy issues. So that is how I define multilateralism.
Can you give some example of this minilateralism? Which particular formations, which particular?
Sir, such as BRICS, SCO, these RCEP. So these are groups of some particular countries whose interests align closely with each other.
Yogesh, current Maldives government
Yes,
is taking very open stand against India diplomatically and basically moving towards China. So how India should react to this situation?
Sir, I firmly believe in the neighborhood first policy. We should play an elderly brother's role when it comes to our neighborhood, because a stable regional neighborhood is in the best interest of India. So I believe, sir, our priorities, our actions should continue. We should basically keep on helping Maldives in whatever help that they need. Apart from that, sir, I believe China's inroads would definitely, it might, because of the proximity of India and the how China has had allegations of debt diplomacy, Maldives or any other country which actually follows, tries to ignore India and goes.
Good. Yogesh, you are a football player.
Yes, sir.
So what is the vision of India with regard to football in 2047? Any vision has been drawn up by any official?
Sir, I'm not aware about very specifics, but recently Mr. Arsene Wenger, who's a legendary manager, he visited India. He set up a training academy in Bhubaneswar, and he's also trying to set up, he's termed India as a sleeping giant in terms of football. So they are trying to set up scouting academies so that football talent could be recruited from the grassroots level, and as well as to build more infrastructure. So steps are being taken.
Okay.
But I'm not aware about specific.
Thank you. Yogesh, over to you, sir.
Yogesh, Donald Trump is in news again.
Yes, sir.
So, what will happen if he comes back to power in the world politics, especially for India?
Right, sir. So that's a very difficult question to answer, but I would take my best guess towards how things would pan out if
Yes,
Trump
yes,
comes to
you
power.
have been there and you
Right.
read American news also.
Yes, sir. Sir, I believe first of all there might be regression in terms of the multilateral cooperation that's in terms of climate change, terrorism, countering terrorism, as well as cyber security. So there we have previously seen how Trump had always kept America first, and if there are some issues where America's interests are hampered, he's very comfortable in pulling out America's commitments in terms of those agreements. So I think there might be some regression in those terms in wider worldwide global cooperation. For India specifically, sir, we saw some trade barriers and trade such as we were taken out of the GSP list. So there definitely were some issues in terms of that. So I think that can be an additional issue. We might have to face more trade barriers, as well as there might be issues with terms of our skilled migration that happens, the visa wait time, the visa opportunities that people get. So these are some of the issues that might happen. But sir, I believe it's very difficult to predict how things might go.
All right, Yogesh, I find something interesting. Automating reading and generating question answer pairs.
Yes.
And you are using Sauron 1 model.
Yes, sir.
So how will this activity of yours help you in administration?
Right, sir. Sir, I believe these activities, sir, in terms of direct application, perhaps they might not be as such very applicable in administration itself. But I believe, sir, the skills that I learned from while building these models, such as, sir, I tried to keep the models very simple and very general. Sir, I firmly believe that intelligence is not solving simple problems in complex ways, but solving complex problems in the most simpler ways.
So you believe in N is equal to NP theory?
No, sir. I mean, it's still out there. I mean, there's no specific answer to that. I mean, we still have to find solutions. So,
All right, you are a math student as well.
yes, sir.
So tell me how maths teaching in America, differences and similarities between America and India,
Right, sir. I would like to,
especially at the primary level, school level,
right,
not at higher level.
sir, I would like to mention I haven't had any education outside of India.
No, you need not.
Yeah, right, sir. So I have limited knowledge in that sense. But what I believe, there's a very rigorous curriculum here in India, as well as the peer competition that we witness here in India. It pushes students to its limits, and basically that's why we see at the bachelor's level, our students are actually performing very well and outcompeting the students abroad. So that is definitely one thing. But I would also like to point out here in India, it's a lot of things because the scale of India is huge. Teachers a lot of times focus on rote learning instead of going to the deeper analysis and understanding how maths actually is happening.
Indian maths education is better than that in US?
Sir, I would not like to make a very generalized statement in terms of that. Definitely, there are some advantages in Indian system because of the competition. It does pushes students to make the best out of whatever abilities they have, as well as there are some issues as well, sir. I mean, because of the scale of India, not everyone's able to get access to good quality education, as well as I said, the rote learning. So it does not promote critical thinking a lot. So I would not like to make a generalized statement whether we are better.
So
or worse.
one last question I want to ask you is on V20 and G7.
Yes, sir.
What is the link between the two? When was the last meeting held between V20 and G7?
So G7 was the group of the developed countries, and G20 basically evolved.
V20, not G20.
So V20.
V20.
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
Vulnerable 20.
Sorry, sir, I haven't
Not-
read about
not
it. I'll have
at
to
all.
read about it.
So then let me replace this with another question.
Sure, sir.
Quantum computing mission of India.
Right, sir.
What is latest about it and what will India achieve with this quantum computing mission?
Sir, quantum computing is the next emerging field that we are witnessing, and it has huge potentials. The quantum computing mission specifically, sir, if I remember correctly, we have allocated close to 7 or 8,000 crores for the mission. The idea is to build a working quantum computer with some specific number of qubits, which, sir, sorry, I don't know the specifics about. But that's the idea. We are trying to bring in more investment. Also, we are trying to bring more collaboration with the private sector. So that is what I believe the idea of the quantum computing.
No, my
mission.
question was not that. My question was what will India achieve?
Right, sir. Sir, sir, if we do, the idea is to actually get and build a quantum computer. If we do build a quantum computer, it will open up a lot of opportunities. So, in the classical computing, with every additional bit, the computing power increases linearly, whereas in quantum computer, it increases exponentially. So a lot of problems that we see today, it might take several thousands of years to get solved in classical computers, but it will be solved in minutes in quantum computers. So material science advancements, as well as climate change and weather prediction.
Right. Thank you. Over.
Yogesh,
Yes.
Taiwan, China, again in news,
Right now.
especially after Taiwan election.
Elections.
What impact is it going to have on India's interest in Indian Pacific Ocean region?
Ma'am, I'd just like to get a clarification. Ma'am, just these recent developments or any attack?
Generally, Taiwan, China, both of them are very important, especially Taiwan.
Right.
So,
Ma'am, definitely Taiwan specifically has a lot of semiconductor industries. Close to 90% of semiconductors are fabricated by the single company called TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. So in that sense, ma'am, it's a very big national security risk for India if there are any trade barriers, or because even though Taiwan and China are at loggerheads, China remains the biggest trading partner of Taiwan. And it's still at, I would say, because of the huge power, economic and military power China has, it's still kind of at the mercy of China in some sense. Definitely there's support from the US. So that definitely is a very big risk for India. That is why we have actually launched the semiconductor mission. Apart from that, ma'am, it's a very big balancing act that India needs to play. We have to make sure that we don't hurt China, as well as maintaining relations with Taiwan. I mean, so that's a very big job for us.
we have to withdraw our troops from Maldives by 15th of March. Okay, relations, as you know, are not really great. So what future do you see for our relationship with Maldives? What should we do to have good relations with Maldives in view of what role China is playing in Maldives?
Right, ma'am, I firmly hold the view that better sense will prevail eventually in the Maldives administration and government, because India just being at the neighborhood, it's very easy for us. We have shown historically as well, within any disaster or any other issues that Maldives has facing, we have been there within a few hours or within a few hours time to help out Maldives. So I definitely feel with the course of time, better sense will prevail, and the Maldives government will eventually understand that India is the most important partner that they need to focus on. I believe India's role should be to keep adhering to its neighborhood first policy and fulfilling any needs that our neighbors actually need.
Now coming to Ayodhya, Pran Pratishthan, you know, opposition is saying it's a political agenda, it's a election gimmick. What do you have to say on this?
Ma'am, the way I see this is, although it's a very controversial topic and it's very difficult to give a very objective opinion on it, I believe, ma'am, the secularism India envisions is a positive secularism. It's not the Western negative secularism which envisions a complete separation between religion and politics. As well as, ma'am, the Ramayana is not just a religious part of our culture. It's a socio-cultural thing as well. Because most of our cultural values actually are derived from these religious scriptures. So, ma'am, I do not see this as a political and as a political agenda. I see this as just as a temporary infrastructure that is incoming and would fulfill the ambitions of millions of Indians.
Coming to One Nation, One Election, the committee under ex-president is going to submit its report soon.
Yes.
And people are generally against it, in favor of this, whereas politicians are against it, right? So what are your views on this?
Ma'am, I believe it has both advantages and disadvantages.
No, that is okay. But what do you personally feel?
Ma'am, I believe we just One Nation, One Election might be a little difficult to go ahead with. What I would suggest differently would be elections at 2 times, at one every 2.5 years, where there are some states for which election is held. We can classify states such that for some states election is held after close to 2.5 years, and if there is any interim government which actually fails, its elections can also be held together with the other states as well. So I would probably take that would be my suggestion, ma'am, because any extreme One Nation, One Election might be very difficult to actually go ahead with, but it definitely has its own benefits. And
my last question: you are, trainer at gym, strength building, and recently we have seen a number of cases, where youngsters they have collapsed due to heart attack.
Right.
So, what message do you want to give to the youth, who are into bodybuilding so much?
Right, ma'am, those issues, based on what I have studied, those issues are majorly happening because of people's food habits as well as the mental health issues that we have been seeing recently because of advent of social media and other issues. Apart from that, ma'am, going to the gym and strength training is a very healthy habit. If you complement it with the right nutrition, it actually is very beneficial for your body, your mind, and in general is a very good habit. So I would actually encourage students, people who actually are getting into the gym, to get a better understanding of how what good nutrition is, and not to fall prey to the marketing companies who are just selling their own supplements and just luring very gullible people who just wants to get big with the gym. So that is what my message will be, to just get more.
Yeah. Thank you, Yogesh.
Okay, so good morning, Yogesh.
Good morning, sir.
So talking about your hobby section only. So you have won some medals in javelin throw, high jump, and
Yes.
you're also interested in football.
Yes.
So India wish to bid for Olympics in 2036.
Yes.
So in case India is able to conduct Olympics, so what will be the advantages and disadvantages for India?
Sir, advantages definitely, I would say it will allow people, the global community it will actually send a message that India is able to host such a big event and basically conduct such a big event and coordinate between different nations. Apart from that side, it will also give more visibility to our population about these different athletics and all the different events that happen during the Olympics, and will give a thrust to more grassroots level participation, as well as build a lot of infrastructure where people can actually participate in the events. So disadvantages, definitely I would say the biggest disadvantage would be of resource allocation, because India also has very pressing needs when it comes to education, health. Perhaps it would be criticized on those terms. Sir, we have previously also seen a lot of issues such as corruption happening when it comes to hosting such big events. So that might also be something that we need to keep an eye on. So that is how the advantages and disadvantages that I see.
Okay, Yogesh, tell me how economies of the world are interrelated.
Sir, as we see that the global trade has been rising massively, it's right now the world trade as it's in proportion with the world economy is close to 56%, which is actually decreased after the 2008 global financial crisis, which was close to 60% at that time. So, sir, the entire world is perhaps linked through the economic trade, where opportunities are distributed across the world, manufacturing and different research and development. At any place, impacts other economies as well. So that is how I would see, as well as sir, we have recently seen the global interest rates. Everyone has worked in conjunction to actually keep keep the inflation in control. So these are some sense how the global economies are interrelated.
So you mentioned about 2008 crisis.
Yes, sir.
So in case of global shocks, generally why Indian economy is one of the least affected economies?
Right, sir. Sir, I would say one of the primary reason is because most of our sovereign debt is in the domestic currency. Close to 5% of our sovereign debt is in external currency, and that too is from multilateral development banks, which has very, I mean, provisions are very in terms of favors of India. So that is one of the reasons why we don't face a very big crisis in that sense. Apart from that, sir, we still have capital controls, and that is one of the reasons why our currency we are able to keep a stable currency because of the capital controls. It contains the flight of capital as well as the healthy reserves that RBI keeps. It also helps us in defending our currency, and that is how these are some of the reasons why.
Okay, tell me your opinion on expansion of BRICS. How will it impact India?
So the expansion of BRICS, I believe it might have a negative impact because already we are seeing that there is very less agreement between the countries because they have diverged interests. If we add more countries, so that is something that we need to look out for because it might introduce more divergent interests, and there might not be any beneficial or any substantial agreements that come out of the summit or the group itself. As when it comes to the benefits that would come from BRICS, so getting more countries into the BRICS group that can help us in gaining more support when it comes to any resolutions that come in UN. So we might be able to get more diplomatic support in that term. Apart from that, sir, aligning world interests with our own interests as we are taking a lead of the global south. So these are some of the advantages that India might have by the expansion of BRICS.
My last question, Yogesh. Old pension scheme versus new pension scheme, and which one would you prefer?
Sir, I would definitely say it has been documented and we have seen across the world as well. Most recently with France, there have been a lot of riots there because of some pension reforms. The age of retirement was increased. Sir, OPS definitely, it has also been highlighted by RBI how it would increase the fiscal burden by close to 4.5 times. So I don't believe that it would be sustainable. Any reforms that need to come, and there are some problems with the NPS as well, sir. It brings some sort of uncertainty in how the pension would actually be paid out. So those are also some issues that we need to take care of. What I would probably suggest is the Andhra Pradesh model about the guaranteed pension scheme, where close to 30% of the pension is guaranteed, given there are some terms that the employee needs to pay some certain amount of money. So there are some terms, but I believe something like that would be sustainable, as it will also bring certainty to people. So that is what I would probably be going ahead with. But OPS, definitely I feel it would be right now our demographics are in our favor, so it might still work out. But as we get older, I definitely feel it won't be sustainable.
As an individual, which one would you prefer?
Sir, I am a very big enthusiast when it comes to investments in stock markets. Definitely, sir, NPS is something that I would prefer. No doubt.
So thank you, Yogesh. I pass on to Chairman, sir.
So Yogesh, if you think that any of your DAF subjects has not been asked, I can ask you one last question.
Sir, DAF subject, perhaps not, but any question about economy or in general, I'm very happy to take. I don't know.
All right. So, with the war going on and becoming more and more broad-based,
Right, sir.
India's imports, how far you think will it be affected? Now, what are the latest developments? I would like to ask you first, in the context of which I want this answer of imports.
Sure, sir. So sorry, I did not get the second part of the question.
How would imports into India of important items
Right, sir.
for good economy in India get affected?
Right. So one of the most significant insecurity of India is its energy security. Right now, the war has been concentrated in the Israel-Gaza region, and most of our oil primarily comes from the Persian Gulf, which is not heavily impacted right now. But as we have seen, more attacks are happening in the Houthi bases, as well as there is some issues, like people are fearing more spillover of the war. So if that gets into the Persian Gulf, that would be a very big issue for India. Sir, but majorly what has been happening right now is the trade companies are holding back their consignments. There was a recent report, I'm not sure who the author of that report was, but it was envisioned, or it was estimated that close to 20 to 25% of the consignments are being held back because shipping companies have to take the longer route through the Cape of Good Horn right now to avoid the recent attacks that have happened by the Houthis, the drone attacks. So that has increased the landing cost of the goods because the goods themselves, the production itself has not been hampered a lot. That is why we have seen that the oil prices have not gone a lot. But the insurance cost and the freight cost has gone.
Okay, details we don't want, but basically all these things will also impact the economy?
Yes, sir, definitely. It's been estimated that close to, I don't remember the exact figure, but there was.
Doesn't matter. So thank you, Yogesh. We close our interview now.
Sure,
you will proceed to the adjoining room. We'll call you again.
Thank you, sir.
So Yogesh, how have you done today?
Sir, I feel above average. I mean, decent, but could have been better perhaps.
Above average, how would you place out of 10?
Sir, 8.
Huh?
8.
8 is above average.
So 7, I would say 7.
So that means good will be 9, very good will be 10, and excellent will be 11.
No, sir, I mean, I would say average would be 7 something. But
Alright. Average is not 7 in UPSC, it is 5.
okay, sir.
Just to guide you. Anyway, so anything which you may have found that you know you were not good at in some area or the way you were conducting?
So generally, I do feel that I am very aware about international affairs, but the way that I was answering some questions, perhaps I felt that it was not very concrete, and I mean, I could have answered those questions in a better sense.
Yes. So Yogesh, coming to the panel's view, you are a very bright boy, very bright, and of course your IIT Bombay, your background, your working in multinational. And all these things, you know, they do give a lot of good experience. And now, you have fairly good knowledge. But as you rightly said, you need relevant knowledge relevant to the question.
Right.
So, you were a little irrelevant, you know, at times. And you were not ready to accept that you are not doing justice with it. So, I better keep quiet. You wanted to speak something, right? And when you speak such questions which you are not very well adept at, then you speak longer.
Okay.
And you go round and round with a more emphasis on the background, going astray here and there, and then being prompted again. So, in all, I think in the entire interview, all of us must have prompted you 3-4 times, which is not good. And so prompting is generally done in the negative sense when it is done, which was this time in your case, when you're going very long or you're not coming to the main point.
Okay.
So my next advice to you is be to the point.
Sure, sir.
You knew the subject. Now take for instance OPS, NPS. You had fairly good idea. It was not a new concept for you.
Right.
You started with France.
Okay, sir.
Who has the time to learn about France?
Right, sir.
Are you getting the point which
Yes, sir, definitely.
So straight away, sir, OPS, most of the employees prefer OPS. You mentioned that also. Your view is final, but give pros and cons. Right? So OPS, everyone, Maharashtra, they had protested, आप तो बॉम्बे के ही हो.
Yes.
क्या किया अभी महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट?
So they allowed some people who were recruited.
They have given choice. ले लो भाई जो लेना है. They have succumbed to the protest.
Right.
So when there is a protest, it means the people's demand, the employees' demand, is for OPS.
Right, sir, definitely.
Now you may be thinking yourself, you know, जेन एक्स के हो या मिलेनियल के हो, मुझे पता नहीं, लेकिन आपकी सोच तो है, लेकिन आप एक सिविल सर्वेंट बनने जा रहे हो. सो आपकी जब व्यू पूछी जाए, ये अनदर लेसन टू यू योगेश, कि जब ये पूछा जाए व्हाट इज योर व्यू, इट इज नॉट योगेश's व्यू. आपने कहा मैं तो बहुत, या उसका है वो, आई एम वन ऑफ दोज यू नो वेरी डिजिटली savvy and this that, तो मैं तो ये प्रेफर, इट इज नॉट योर व्यू, it is the view of the civil servant that we are expecting from you. Because what you are today, we will assume, अरे ये तो वही करेगा वहाँ जाके. पब्लिक और उसके चक्कर में नहीं, ये तो यू नो give both sides. जैसा आंध्र प्रदेश मॉडल आपने ठीक बोला, somewhere in between can work out, sir. So give both the pros and cons. And it is not your own view. You have to see, which you also mentioned, the state exchequer. You know, we have to sustain how sustained it would be. That has to be seen. Leave it to that. Now, 2-3 governments have done. वहाँ तो नहीं चिल्ला पुकार हो रही है. राजस्थान में नई सरकार आई, उन्हें तो नहीं शोर मचाया कि अरे OPS कर दिया, इतना बर्डन पड़ रहा है. Nobody is doing this. So they have been able to absorb it.
So that was my point. That
And
right
India is a welfare state, not a declared welfare state, but India is a welfare state. And civil services, you are going to protect the civil services at some stage. So, you understand my point?
Yes, sir.
So, don't criticize one, few quick questions, a few quick responses from my side. Then we'll go to other members. You mentioned on, I'm taking that question which honorable member asked you, difficult to answer. You know, never say that. I have not read in US, so I cannot say that. So you were, आप ऐसा कर रहे थे योगेश, जैसे कोई वो इंटरव्यू में आपसे कोई पूछ रहा हो, कोई टीवी इंटरव्यू चल रहा हो कि योगेश जी आपका क्या कहना है. नहीं, मैं वहाँ, मुझे कोई आइडिया नहीं है वहाँ के बारे में, इस पे मैं नो कमेंट्स. आप समझ रहे हो?
Yes, sir.
हाँ. So you are trying to be a little, you are a little more informal. Be a little formal.
Sure, sir.
ठीक है, अपने वर्ड्स को थोड़ा सा तोल मोल के आप बोलिए. तो ये एक और पॉइंट था. यू यूज वाइब्रेंट सिटी फॉर मुंबई, देयर इज नो नीड टू गिव एन एडजेक्टिव. IT सिटी ऑफ हैदराबाद, फलाना सिटी ऑफ सिलिकॉन वैली ऑफ इंडिया, बेंगलोर, यू नो.
Sure, sir.
ये कोई वो नहीं चल रहा है.
Investment pitch.
हाँ, इन्वेस्टमेंट पिच में वो आप यू नॉट सेलिंग बॉम्बे. And then basically, I can't, no generalization can be made. You know, this is the third expression. I can't generalize. Give your view straight away. Bhai, agree karo to bata do. I can't give a generalized view. You mention your view. Why do you have to add something to that?
Okay, sir.
And then, so basically, as I have mentioned, even for the quantum thing, you know, you went around and around and around. And even the AI China thing, you started with China. I prompted you. Come to India straight. चाइना की तो बात हो गई ना, चाइना ने तो कह दिया, अब चाइना में क्यों घुस रहे हो? हमें इंडिया से मतलब है कि सर, आई थिंक इन इंडिया वी मे नॉट बी एबल टू do this because you tell Indian conditions. Why do you compare with China? Okay. So these are some of the things which will further improve your performance. You have done very well. We have given you 66% marks. You know? So I'll ask you whether it's your first time interview or, but you are very bright. All right. So keep that confidence in you and work on these smaller things. Okay.
Yogesh, Chairman sir has covered all the points. I won't repeat. You have a very good personality. Your confidence, your communication skills are very good. Just be thorough on your DAF.
Sure.
Every word of your DAF. So you play football, so you should know each and everything, including this Vision 2047
Right, sir.
developed by this AIFF for football. Okay, and whatever current ranking of FIFA ranking, and this AFC Asian Cup is coming up.
Right.
Everything about, because it is in your DAF.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Otherwise, whatever chairman sir has suggested, work on them. But your personality is very good. You are Absolutely, I'm sure you will do very well. All the best.
Thank you.
So Yogesh, very good personality, very good communication. The point that I had have already been covered by chairman. So never counter the board.
Okay, sir.
All right, listen to the question carefully and then try and address the main issue.
Sure.
Quantum, how will it benefit India?
Hmm.
So that is the question. So that is one. V20 and G7 is a current thing.
Okay, sir.
Maldives
Hmm.
as part of vulnerable.
Okay,
20.
vulnerable 20 is the country's climate.
Yes.
Right.
So on account of climate.
Hmm.
So you read current affairs and connect why this question is being asked.
Sure, sir.
Right. So if somebody is asking Maldives,
Hmm.
so I want to know whether you know Maldives is part of V20. So that is number two. Question that I could not ask due to shortage of time. Singapore model of development. You have been in Singapore.
Right, sir.
America. Many things that can be discussed. So prepare yourself with the current affairs. आपका interview है February में.
Yes.
So you have time.
Yes.
And Trump, today's newspapers are full of,
Yes, sir.
he has won in Iowa.
Caucus.
And what will happen? So everybody is talking of that.
Yes.
Firm up your views and think whether it will be good for global economy and America.
Right.
Right? And maths in America and India, infrastructure is good.
Hmm.
Facilities are better and money is more. India with just the reverse
Hmm.
at the primary level. But quality of education, the syllabus, the way, so our people are taught pahadas where they can do mental calculation,
Hmm.
which is not being taught in America. So, and my question was similarities and differences.
Okay, sir. Sorry.
You missed out on my question.
Hmm.
So similarities maybe, where they are taught, but differences are that our foundations are far more stronger.
Right, sir.
Indians क्यों अच्छा करते हैं?
Hmm.
Field medal क्यों जीतते हैं?
Right.
Because of many things that are ingrained in India. So that is what I wanted to tell you. Wish you all the best. You have very good personality.
Yogesh, I enjoyed interacting with you. It was really nice, except that what Honorable Chairman has said that you goal में जाने की बजाय you come to the point straight away. For example, on Taiwan, you took so much of time to come to the point. Maldives also, you asked a supplementary question to me. And your reply on one nation, one election, that was really good. You have applied some thought process, but you have to be very sure. If you are taking this stand, then you have to be very clear about pros and cons of this thought process also. Because they can be counter questions also. Otherwise, you've done well. Wish you all the best.
So overall, you have done well. Just try to stick to the point and avoid being longish.
Sure.
Okay, sir.
So,
सर एक छोटा सा पॉइंट सर,
हाँ प्लीज.
ये योगेश, जब आप अभी तो जैसे आपके बटन खुले हुए ना, जब पिछली बार आप आए थे ना मेन इंटरव्यू में, तो उस टाइम पे आपने दोनों बटन बंद रखे हुए थे और थ्रू आउट आप दोनों बटन ऑन के साथ ही बैठे रहे.
Sir, I panicked actually when I थोड़ा बटन खोलने में टाइम लग रहा था.
तो आप उसका बेस्ट तरीका ये, या तो आप खुले में आइए
Yes.
या एट द मोस्ट एक बटन बंद करके आइए
Sure.
और वो बैठते हुए खोल लीजिए.
Sure.
क्योंकि दो बटन बंद करके ना आपको 30-35 मिनट वहां बैठना पड़ेगा. इट विल कॉज डिस्कम्फर्ट.
Sure.
तो बटन तो आपके खुलने चाहिए. चॉइस इज योर्स, या तो एक बटन में आइए या खोल के आइए.
Sure.
ठीक है.
So, Yogesh, कोई आपका any questions from your side?
No, sir, I believe I'm good.
You're okay. Just I was reminded of another point that I asked you with regard to this, Indian economy getting affected. वो भी आपने घुमाया.
Yes,
And I was asking you in the context of what is happening.
right.
You could mention only Israel, Gaza, Hamas वगैरह तक ही आप सीमित रहे. You have to see. Do you read today's newspapers?
Not yet, sir.
That explains. So my point is that be aware of what is happening even on the day of your interview.
Definitely.
Read newspaper.
Sure, sir.
Okay. So if there is no other question from your side, so Yogesh, we have given you 66%. I have told you already,
Yes.
and you will do very well, and you have time.
Yes.
You have time not to acquire too much of knowledge. Your diversity of knowledge is very good. but you need to be to the point, structured.
Sure.
You know, just come out with few points. So first, sir, Indian economy will get affected in the following manner, sir. Number one, sir, now Iran, Iraq, they are, both of them are at loggerheads. And Iran has, if you had read the newspaper, Iran has attacked Iraq.
Right, the Israeli spy place.
So, पढ़ा तो है तुमने?
सर हेडलाइन देखी थी बस बाहर.
तो बस हेडलाइन तो बताना चाहिए था. तो इससे ज़्यादा किसको टाइम है ना? तो and most of the imports that India gets, Iraq is one of the sources.
Right.
ईरान से तो अभी कट ऑफ हो गया, आपने बताया भी. So ये करके आपको, सर, that is one to be affected. Number two, many other items, you know, supply chain because of Red Sea is already affected.
Right.
So, sir, with these two developments and more people joining the war, it is likely that India's economy will take a, you know, slightly this thing in the year 2024. बस काफी.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है ना? So, all the best, Yogesh. Do well.
Thank you.